First things first, make sure your hands are clean, apron's on. I'm just going to put my hair back as well, because nobody likes a stray hair in their fruit pizza, do they? Because I've touched my hair, just going to give my hands a quick clean again. So what do we need for this fruit pizza? Well, you can make your own puff pastry, and I quite enjoy doing it. It's a bit of a faff. So I'm using ready-made shop-bought puff pastry. I've got some beautiful fruit here. Now, this time of year, it's great because often you'll just find trees which are dripping fruit onto the street and nobody wants. So you can just go foraging for those. I've got some jam. Jam can be any flavour you like. What's your favourite jam? And then I've got some healthy toppings. So when we make a pizza ordinarily, we have our pizza base, we have some tomato sauce, we have our toppings, and it's sprinkled with cheese. We're not sprinkling with cheese, we're sprinkling with some seeds. I think these are chia seeds, maybe mix with some poppy seeds, but you could use sesame seeds, you could use nuts, anything you like. And I've got a few raisins here. If you want to really have a bit of a treat, some marshmallows are quite nice, or even my favourite, some dark chocolate chips. We're going to do this in the frying pan. And I've got with me an old butter wrap. And the reason for this, it's one of my kitchen hacks, come down through the generations, is that instead of using oil or something fresh, you can just save a bit of money, a bit of recycling, by using the dregs of the butter from the wrap on the pan. I'm going to put that on the hob on a medium to high heat. Mine's just heating up. There we go. We'll take the pastry. And roll it into the pan. So you can do this before you put it on the hob if you want to make sure you don't burn hands. So much simpler than making the pastry yourself, isn't it? Just look at this, all rolled out. Straight into the pan. And what we're doing is we're cooking the bottom of the pizza base. Now, as you can see, it started to come around the edges, so I have got a rolling pin, and it's just to roll the edges instead of using a knife. And these extra bits can fill in where it's missing. Just be careful that if yours is heating up already, you're not going to start burning your fingers. It doesn't have to look particularly pretty, because the fruit is going to make it look gorgeous. Now, instead of tomato sauce, that's where we're going to use the jam. I've got strawberry jam here, but you can use whatever jam you like. Apricot jam is often used by professionals in all their tarts and patisserie. If you want to go with something you're just familiar with, a good old strawberry jam is great. I love a bit of marmalade, but I know it's not to everybody's taste. Now, if you're finding the jam a bit hard to spread, what you could do is add some boiling water, just a little bit, just to loosen it up a bit, or pop it in the microwave for a few moments. I don't know if you can see, but the pastry's already beginning to puff up there, which is great. That's what we want it to do. So as we allow the jam to sort of melt into that, we're going to move on to cutting up our fruit. I've got some nectarines and some plums. And the safest way to cut anything, really, is to form a bridge with your fingers, and then you just pop the knife in between the bridge. And it's always really important to have a sharp knife. You might think it's safer, particularly with children, to have a not such a sharp knife. But if knives aren't sharp, that's when you're more likely to have accidents. So form the bridge and slice in between. And it doesn't have to be particularly elegant or pretty, you just need to be safe. And you can use a smaller knife. It fits your hand better, just as long as it's good and sharp. So we've got a few nectarines. Sometimes it's really tricky to get them off the stone, so you have to really dig your fingers in. The first cut isn't so bad, because as you cut through all the way around, you can then just twist it in half. And then in half again, so a quarter. And just do another twist. And then you've just got the last bit to dig the stone out if you really don't want to eat that bit. And slice again. If you want to use plums, exactly the same technique, but obviously these are a little bit smaller, so you need to be a bit more careful with your fingers. Using the bridge technique, slice around the centre and twist it in half. Then a quarter, peel it off. Whoop. And dig that last bit out. When you've got enough fruit, that's when you can start to play with decorating the top of your pizza and how beautifully you may want to lay it out. Some people don't like the skins of fruit, so you can peel those, but again, that's a huge faff. If you're going to do that, a top tip is to plunge your fruit into a bowl of boiling water. And then if you score around the fruit, the skin should just sort of peel away, which makes it a bit easier. So I'm now going to layer my fruit into the pizza pan. I need to be careful that the bottom doesn't get too dark. As you can see, lots of lovely bubbles there already. Now you may find, or you probably will find, that there's quite a bit of outside. And what we can do with that is turn it into a wider crust. If you wanted to make a stuffed crust fruit pizza, then you could fill that bit with anything yummy that you want to. So the fruit's going on. I'm trying to layer it beautifully, but of course you could just throw it on. Be as random as you like. When we did this in schools, we had people making Union flag shapes and all sorts of pretty patterns and pictures. You've got a bit more time than me, so you can make it as beautiful as you like. I think you might be catching the edges a bit there. So, oh, it could be some steam coming out. I'm going to pop my fruit on top. And then we can add in the sprinkles on top. So I said I've got some seeds. Now, a wonderful tip with seeds, that could be a few too many, is that if you've got children who've got struggles with their digestive systems, a few seeds will help ease everything through. Some marshmallows. Also, if you're pregnant, that could be a problem as well. Now, all we need to do now is fold his edges around, and that can be a bit tricky with hot fingers. So I'm just going to bend them over with a spoon. And you can see where some of it starts to go gorgeous, flaky brown colour. But of course, this top bit is still a bit raw, and we don't want to eat raw pastry. So what we're going to do next, instead of turning the whole oven on, we're going to pop it under the grill. So I'm just going to pop it under here. Now, I tend to cook by smell and by eye, so I'm guessing about 10 minutes, but when does it smell good? When does it smell cooked? When does it look gorgeous? When has that pastry all risen and puffed up in a gorgeous brown colour, and you just can't wait to eat it? That's probably the best time to find that it's cooked. So pay attention to it. And when it's ready, it should look a bit like this. So that one, you can see the pattern of the flowers of the fruits, some chocolate chips, and a lovely golden crispy crust on that one. So all that's left to do now is to serve that up, to slice it up if you feel like you're going to share it, and decide what you want to eat it with. You can eat it hot or you can eat it cold, with creme fraiche if you're feeling healthy. You can eat it with ice cream if you're feeling like a treat. I hope you enjoy your fruit pizza and having time and fun playing in the kitchen with you and your family. Thanks for watching.